you're in normal usage, like watching cat videos, cat videos on YouTube. Who is going to watch cat videos on YouTube with a Chromecast Ultra? Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So it seems like Google Stadia is going through a lot of problems right now, and problem after problem make the service literally a failure at its launch. So people have been thinking about input lag and how could that affect the gaming experience when Stadia was going to launch. But now, right after its launch, it's not only those minor things like input lag, but it's also some major things like what Stadia marketed and what it delivered. And here we have an excellent article from Eurogamer.net, people who are behind the Digital Foundry channel, and the title is Google response after Stadia owners accuse it of breaking promises over game performance. 4K it. Yeah, obviously the people at Google Stadia were claiming that 4K 60 FPS was going to be a thing with Google Stadia, and that people would play at higher refresh rates and higher resolutions than their current PCs could, or on par with what most powerful PCs can do right now. And as you see here, the infamous picture that was in GDC 2019 where Phil Harrison said that Google Stadia has got a GPU of 10.7 teraflops, and he said that it was more powerful than the One X and the PS4 Pro combined. And well, that teraflop thing was just a marketing stunt, not only from Stadia itself but also from other companies, because it means nothing in real life performance. Teraflops are not the actual performance of a GPU. In a way, I have highlighted a few things here. Let's just read what's in there. But Stadia version of Destiny 2, for example, renders at a native 1080p, then it's upscaled to improve quality but never reaches 4K. Red Dead Redemption 2, Stadia's most high-profile port, also doesn't play in true 4K, as Digital Foundry revealed. Red Dead Redemption 2 renders at 1080p or 1440p, depending on what data rate you are using, and is then upscaled to 4K on a Chromecast Ultra. Essentially, Stadia's 4K mode is actually processing fewer pixels than PS4 Pro in its biggest port. So teraflop wise, PS4 Pro is the weakest of them, and yet Stadia couldn't reach what the PS4 Pro has got. Red Dead 2 on Stadia doesn't seem to be delivering on key marketing promises, certainly not the spirit of them at least. Stadia's GPU seems to be an offshoot of AMD's Vega 56 based on its specs, yet in 1080p mode, performance is more in line with the PC version running on a much less capable RX 570 or 580. That's a total joke to consider that Stadia is telling you, yeah, just ditch your graphic cards and ditch your gaming consoles and you would be fine. And of course, you wouldn't be fine. Google said it expects performance to improve. Here is a statement. Quote, Stadia streams at 4K and 60 FPS, and that includes all aspects of our graphics pipeline from game to screen, GPU, encoder, and Chromecast Ultra, all outputting at 4K to 4K TVs with the appropriate internet connection. Developers make Stadia games work hard to deliver the best streaming experience for every game. Like you see on all platforms, this includes a variety of techniques to achieve the best overall quality. We give developers the freedom of how to achieve the best image quality and frame rate on Stadia, and we are impressed with what they have been able to achieve for day one. Okay, so the lame excuse here is that day one performance is impressive and things are going to improve. I'm not buying that. I think it's just, again, one of those marketing stunts. And Stadia is making it look like as if they have some kind of weak GPU and CPU in their data centers, something designed only for games, but it didn't quite deliver. In fact, if you play Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC and you try to play on the highest settings, even at 2080 Ti from Nvidia isn't enough to get you to 4K 60. And for Google Stadia to do that kind of miracle, they might probably have to use an NVLink of 2 RTX 2080 Ti. They continue, we expect that many developers can, and in most cases will, continue to improve their games on Stadia. And because Stadia lives in our data centers, developers are able to innovate quickly while delivering even better experiences directly to you without the need for game patches or downloads. Yeah, to improve the game without game patches. How is that possible? They're going to have to patch their games one way or another. You might not have to download any patch, yeah, it's true. But the developers will have to patch their games. What kind of playing with words is this statement? It's just like walking on a mine. If we go to Reddit, where the discussion is much heated and people are exposing, between quotes, every lie that Google Stadia is telling us, we see here a post by that Husker fan, and he says, why are people ignoring the lack of 4K 60? It has a 90% upvote. If you do any level of research, you can quickly find videos and pictures showing that most, if not all, games are not running at 4K 60 on Stadia. Not only that, but they are running on medium settings. One of the biggest selling points for me was being able to play games at PC level settings, 4K 60 high. But so many people on here are just ignoring that Google under-delivered and are just calling people haters, between quotes, while parading around their 1080 upscaled 30 FPS game. I just don't understand why the community, as consumers, are just letting the promises Google made slide by. I will say I'm very impressed by the lack of input lag. It was my biggest fear going in, but I'm quite disappointed in the graphics, frames, settings. And that's totally understandable. That's 100% correct. I agree with this guy, just like the overwhelming majority of people on Reddit agree with him. And of course, if you scroll down here, you will see a lot of people discussing it. And obviously, it's not a happy discussion, because obviously Google didn't honor the promises they made. To make things even worse, the Chromecast Ultra, the thing that you have to buy with money to play at 4K, is kinda overheating. Again, Chromecast Ultra overheating by Armadion, and it's got a whopping 97% upvote. I was in the middle of a fight in Destiny 2 when suddenly my Chromecast died and lost connectivity to the network. I went to unplug it from the power and it was extremely hot. Has anyone else experienced overheating with the new Chromecast Ultras that come with the Founders Edition? I hadn't seen other posts about that. And we've got someone who is a community manager from Google. Score is hidden for some reason. And they answered, thanks for bringing this to our attention. We know any sort of heat on a device can be worrisome, but we can confirm there is no thermal overheating issue with Chromecast Ultra. During normal usage, like watching cat videos, cat videos on YouTube. Who is going to watch cat videos on YouTube with a Chromecast Ultra? Oh my god. The surface on the device may get warm to the touch, but this is working as designed. So that cat is probably sleeping on that Chromecast Ultra and making it feel at home and warm. Seriously though. The team has done extensive testing on the hardware, services and games that includes tests for long Stadia play and video sessions, and have not seen thermal shutdown problems. Oh my god, it's just a mess over a mess over a mess, and this is like a mountain of crap Stadia is giving us right now. And then here is another post by Phoenix, and he says, I found the perfect heatsink for my overheating Chromecast Ultra. Obviously, he's just mocking the Chromecast Ultra for being so hot. Yeah, probably they should have adopted something like this. Go for it, man, just trademark that. They might use it in the future. Seriously though. And then here are even more and more complaints. Google used the first come first serve unique Stadia name to lure in buyers that were on the fence. They simply lied, just like they lied or at least misled us about the quality of the service. What can we do to return the favor to Google? So this kind of unique Stadia name, I think it's especially important for those people who are streaming games, who've got a brand name, probably on YouTube or somewhere else, and they want just to use their username everywhere. It's important for them. Or it's also important for people who just want to have that kind of fancy name, to have that kind of sense of validation that they are founders or whatever the case may be. But all of that is totally understandable because people have paid money for that and they have adopted the service early on, before launch even, and then it carries on. Google marketed the first come first serve system for redeeming usernames as big advantages of ordering early, and that promise has fallen in the water. Many first day founders still don't have an access code. Even if they do have founders kit, bits are faster than atoms. Am I right? Many founders will not get to choose the name they want because the promised first come first serve system has not been honored. After your second statement saying the issue has been fixed and you have continued to roll out codes in the sequence in which we received your pre-order, this is obviously not the case. If it was fixed, the many founders who ordered on the 6th of June and have their founders kit collecting dust at home would have received their code by now. Instead, they haven't received it yet and can kiss any chance at getting the name they want. Goodbye. Yeah, I'm just going to leave all of the links for you to discuss about this because it's just a lot for a YouTube video to cover. And then the last one here is the Gamer Nexus YouTube channel. They did a teardown of the Stadia controller and they called it a nightmare because the Stadia controller is apparently a cheap one, as if paying wasn't enough to get you a good controller. Controllers are really cheap but put together and are held together with 10 rigid plastic clips, making it pretty much impossible to non-destructively open the controller, even for RMA, which means that when your controller breaks, and it will because it's cheap crap, it will be impossible to repair when you send it to Google to repair. They will just trash it and send you a new controller. So what obviously the situation is here is that Google Stadia at its current form is a very deep mess, and it's not going to change unless Stadia does something as soon as possible. But this whole promise of playing without the need of consoles or PCs is just a whole idea that's so far-fetched right now, and that anyone with a sane mind cannot recommend people to get this kind of service. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more, leave a comment, tell us your opinions, and I will talk to you again soon. Have a good one.